He posts his interview with them on his social media platform, followed by a photo of himself mocking Prime Minister Modi. Look at this. He shares an image with the caption, "Trump orders reciprocal tariffs on countries treating US imports unfairly, with the EU, India, and Japan in the crosshairs." At the same time, he sends out some of the most unhinged and bizarre emails. If you haven't subscribed to his emails, don't. Because I do, so you don't have to. Now picture this. You're the leader of the free world, with the power to shape global politics. What do? If you're Trump, you insult your allies, cozy up to dictators, and turn America into the weird kid no one wants to sit with at lunch. In this video, we're taking a trip down memory lane to revisit Trump's foreign policy achievements. From mocking India's prime minister to giving North Korea's Kim Jong-un a friendship bracelet. It's a journey so cringeworthy, you might want to hide under your MAGA hat. Before we continue, I have a small favor to ask. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click that subscribe button? Great, thank you. Now, back to the video. Remember when Trump promised to make America respected again? Well, it turns out his idea of respect was about as solid as a chocolate teapot in the Sahara. A grumpy Trumpy seemed to believe that the best way to win friends and influence people was to insult them. Who needs diplomacy when you can just call other countries names, right? Trump's approach to international relations was like watching a bull in a china shop. If the bull wore a bad toupee and had access to Twitter, he turned social media into his personal playground for diplomatic crises, leaving world leaders scratching their heads and reaching for aspirin. You might think insulting allies would be a political no-go, but Trump had other ideas. He charged ahead, throwing insults that would make even a sailor blush. It was like watching a toddler throw a tantrum, except this toddler had nuclear codes. And boy, did he have some zingers up his sleeve? Donald Trump continues to try to scam the American people while running the country and the economy into the ground. When you behave like Donald Trump, what other choice do you leave nations? When you mock and humiliate them, what do you expect? Even when Trump hosted India's Prime Minister Modi, look at the photo he posted. Trump orders reciprocal tariffs on countries treating US imports unfairly, with the EU, India, and Japan targeted. Isn't that Trump's entire MO? Don't think. Just do what I say. No questions asked. Trump's greatest hits included diplomatic gaffes that made even seasoned diplomats' hair stand on end. It was as if he was playing how to lose friends and alienate countries, and winning. But it wasn't just the insults that had everyone in a twist. Oh no, Donny Diapers took things up a notch. During a meeting with NATO allies, he thought it'd be a great idea to lecture them about their defense spending. Because nothing says I'm a stable genius like telling your friends they're not pulling their weight, right? World leaders' reactions to Trump's unique brand of diplomacy ranged from eye rolls to outright anger. It was like watching a bad comedy sketch, except the joke was on America. These weren't just random countries he was upsetting. These were our allies, the ones we rely on when things get tough. Experts in international relations were left baffled, pointing out that Trump's behavior made the US look as reliable as a chocolate fire guard. It was as if he took the phrase, "keep your friends close and your enemies closer," and decided to make everyone an enemy instead. Talk about efficiency. The consequences of Trump's diplomatic disasters weren't just hurt feelings and angry tweets. Analysts warned of long-term damage to US foreign relations. It was as if Trump was playing Jenga with America's global standing, randomly pulling out blocks and hoping the tower wouldn't collapse. And let's not forget those international summits. You know, the events where world leaders are supposed to solve global issues. With Trump involved, they turned into reality TV spectacles. Other leaders were caught on camera rolling their eyes or expressing outright frustration. It was like the world's most awkward family reunion, except with nuclear weapons involved. After alienating America's allies faster than you can say fake news, Trump decided to make new friends. But not just any friends. He gravitated toward the world's most notorious strongmen and dictators. What could possibly go wrong when the leader of the free world starts sending love letters to despots? Well, buckle up, because this geopolitical roller coaster is about to get nuclear. Remember, when Trump promised to stand up to the world's bad actors? So about that, turns out his idea of standing up to them was more like rolling over and begging for belly rubs. Our tough-talking president's resolve melted faster than his spray tan in a sauna. Let's start with Trump's budding bromance with Kim Jong-un. These two exchanged more love letters than teenagers passing notes in class. Trump was so smitten, he probably doodled little hearts around Kim's name in his diary. Meanwhile, America's trading partners weren't exactly thrilled. In retaliation, countries like Canada slapped tariffs on American goods and launched massive boycotts. But the scam didn't stop there. Trump kept amplifying state-run propaganda from his favorite regime media, also known as Fox News. He even reposted his own interviews on his social media platform and then, for good measure, shared a photo of himself mocking Prime Minister Modi. Then came the all-important loyalty test. Will you stand with Trump if I'm impeached in another Democrat witch hunt? Yes or no? And let's not forget Trump's love letter diplomacy. Dear Kim, do you like me? Check yes or no. P.S. Please don't nuke us. It was like watching a painfully bad rom-com. Except instead of a meet cute, we got a tweet cute. But wait, there's more. Trump's heart was big enough for another special someone, Vladimir Putin. Our president turned into Putin's personal puppet faster than you can say Russian collusion. He danced to Russia's tune so enthusiastically you'd think he was auditioning for Dancing with the Dictators. Putin probably had a remote control labeled Trump next to his TV remote. Now you might be thinking, surely the experts think, this is a brilliant strategy, right? Wrong, oh buckaroo. Turns out cozying up to dictators isn't exactly a winning move in global politics. Who knew? Answer, literally everyone except Trump. Experts were tearing their hair out over his dictator. Dating spree, comparing it to watching your drunk uncle hit on the bouncer. Embarrassing, dangerous, and doomed to end badly. They warned that Trump's infatuation with strongmen would have real consequences, damaging America's credibility, weakening alliances, and emboldening authoritarian credibility is tanking. Democratic norms are eroding, and authoritarian regimes are feeling bolder than ever. Turns out Trump's word is about as reliable as the Twitter feed it's posted on. Remember when Trump said trade wars are easy to win? Yeah, about as easy as getting a straight answer out of the man himself. Our orange-tinted economic genius promised to fix trade deals and bring jobs back faster than you could say MAGA. Time for a fact check. Trump slapped tariffs on everything from Chinese electronics to Canadian maple syrup, because nothing says America first like making Americans pay more for their own goods. Shockingly, this wasn't the magic economic fix he promised. Who could have guessed? Oh right, every economist ever. And let's talk about the real victims of Trump's trade tantrum. American farmers. These hardworking folks became collateral. Damage in Donny's diaper crusade against, well, everyone. Crops rotted, bank accounts dried up, and farmers were left crying in their cornfields. It's almost like Trump confused Make America Great Again with Make American Farmers Broke Again. But hey, at least all those manufacturing jobs came flooding back, right? Wrong. It's as if Trump thought he could just yell, "Jobs, come back," and they'd magically reappear. Instead, his foreign policy sent America into a downward spiral, isolating us from our allies and turning the country into an international pariah. After Prime Minister Modi left, Trump doubled down on his petty, cowardly behavior, sending out some of the most unhinged and bizarre messages imaginable. And that, my friends, is the art of the deal. Or, more accurately, the art of setting America on fire while pretending it's a victory parade. So about that, turns out his idea of standing up to them was more like rolling over and begging for belly rubs. Our tough-talking president's resolve melted faster than his spray tan in a sauna. Let's start with Trump's budding bromance with Kim Jong-un. These two exchanged more love letters than teenagers passing notes in class. Trump was so smitten he probably doof. If you subscribe, don't subscribe to his emails. I do, so you don't have to. Democrats think they'll get away with impeaching me a third time. He's literally just whining and playing the victim instead of taking responsibility. Meanwhile, many companies decided to pack up and leave, taking their jobs with them. It's almost like businesses don't enjoy unpredictable trade policies. Who knew? Now, let's hear from the party poopers, economists. These nerdy types keep insisting that trade wars are actually pretty hard to win. They throw around fancy terms like complex economic repercussions and long-term detrimental effects. In simple Trump speak, trade wars make wallets sad. Speaking of sad wallets, how's yours feeling? If you've noticed your grocery bill climbing faster than Trump's golf handicap, you're not alone. Those tariffs didn't just hurt farmers and manufacturers, they hit everyday Americans right in the piggy bank. Some eggheads estimated that tariffs could raise consumer prices by as much as 4.3%. That's a lot of extra cash for your weekly groceries. But surely American businesses thrived under Trump's art of the deal approach, right? Well, if by thrived, you mean facing severe economic consequences and a significant increase in bankruptcies, then sure. It's like Trump confused the art of the deal with the art of bankruptcy. Oh wait, he's actually an expert in that last one. So how bad did it get for American businesses? Let's just say if crying in cornfields were an Olympic sport, we'd have taken home the gold. Farmers faced severe losses. Exports plummeted faster than Trump's approval ratings, and bankruptcies shot up like one of his ill-advised tweets at 3 a.m. But don't worry, Trump assured us this was all part of his master plan. You know, the same plan that involved injecting bleach to cure COVID. It's almost like running a country is harder than hosting a reality TV show. Who could have guessed? Remember when presidents used to, actually lead during crises? Well, Trump had a different approach. Let's take a cringeworthy tour through the disaster movie that was Trump's crisis management. It's scarier than any horror flick. You've seen, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, our orange-in-chief decided to play it cool. He told everyone it would disappear like magic. Yeah, because that's totally how viruses work, but wait, it gets better. When the magic trick didn't pan out, Trump decided to put on his lab coat and play doctor. His groundbreaking medical advice? Inject bleach. Because who needs actual doctors when you've got a reality TV star with a degree from Trump University? Meanwhile, his own health experts were pulling their hair out. It was like watching a toddler try to drive a car while the adults in the backseat screamed directions. The result? A response so chaotic it made a game of Twister look organized. And let's not forget the time Biden roasted Trump harder than a marshmallow at a campfire. He hit him with this zinger. It is what it is because you are who you are. Ouch. That's gotta hurt more than a spray tan gone wrong. But wait, there's more. When it came to climate change, Trump pulled a classic ostrich move, sticking his head in the sand and pretending it didn't exist. Wildfires ravaging the country? No biggie. Just rake the forests. Because clearly, Mother Nature just needed a good tidying up. Now you might be thinking, surely the rest of the world was impressed by this unique approach to crisis management. Well, not quite. While Trump was tweeting away the pandemic, other world leaders were watching in disbelief. It was like America had entered a clown car race while everyone else was running a marathon. Crisis management pros took one look at Trump's performance and collectively facepalmed. They were probably thinking, this guy's idea of crisis communication is tweeting from the toilet at 3 a.m. Meanwhile, countries like New Zealand and South Korea were handling the pandemic like bosses while Trump fumbled around like a bull in a china shop. But hey, at least Trump was consistent, right? His approach to every crisis was about as transparent as a brick wall and as accountable as a cat knocking over a vase. The American public was left scratching their heads, wondering whether to listen to the CDC or just wait for the next presidential tweet. Well, folks, it looks like Trump's Make America Great Again slogan turned into Make America Cringe Again. Who knew running a country was harder than firing D-list celebrities on reality TV? Now we're left wondering how long it'll take to fix America's reputation after the Trump show. It's like cleaning up after a toddler's birthday party. But instead of cake on the walls, we've got diplomatic disasters splattered everywhere. Experts say we need to roll up our sleeves and start rebuilding trust with our allies. No more tweets, no more tantrums, just good old-fashioned diplomacy. It's time to trade in those MAGA hats for some please.